You're most welcome back to the program. This is The Point, and my name is Anthony. Now, today we're talking organic agriculture, and of course, I'm doing with experts in the field to discuss the matter. But since, of course, 1990, organic agriculture has been at the center of agricultural practice here in Uganda. And of course, Uganda is increasingly recognized internationally as one of the leading and most competitive sources of organic agricultural products, not only in Africa, but in the entire world. And when you look at, for example, the current, the acreage, when you look at the acreage that is actually under cultivation in organic agriculture, and what is actually being applied as, of course, not organic and inorganic fertilizer, is actually a very big percentage. When you look at the current acreage that actually the organic agriculturists are putting to use here in Uganda, compared of course to the inorganic agriculture. Now, what is this organic agriculture? We want to understand the scope of this organic agriculture. To you, the basic farmer out there, how do you differentiate? What sort of farming are you doing currently? And I want to pose this question to Madame Marilyn, first of all, as a representative from Nogam. Madame Marilyn, what is the extent of organic agriculture in Uganda, and how do you divide it in the simplest terms, at least to the basic farmer out there? What is organic agriculture?
Organic agriculture is a holistic organic agriculture system that doesn't use synthetic fertilizers, where we don't use chemicals. We use the natural ways of farming, for example, crop rotation,
yes,
mulching, and those natural ways and the things we used to use before. We don't apply synthetic chemicals in during production. So for me, that's what I understand by organic agriculture. And this is the agriculture system that is practiced by many farmers across the country. But of course, there are other ways where people apply synthetic chemicals, and that is not organic agriculture. So where we don't apply that, but we apply natural ways, manures, cow dung, chicken droppings, to conserve nature, that is what organic agriculture is. And most farmers are doing this. They may not know they are doing organic agriculture, but that's what they are doing. And this one really helps in helping the soils to be healthy, rejuvenate, because there are no chemicals that are applied. Yes.
When you talk about the crop rotation, is it only applied to cultivation, or we can also apply it to the animal industry, or the, when you talk about, for example, cows and all the other parts of agriculture?
Crop rotation, like you said, crop. It's to the crops. Yes. So you cannot plant the same crop season after season. So you can change so that you get good products out of it. So that's what I meant.
So it doesn't apply to animals?
No.
At all?
Because it's crop. It's
okay.
Crop rotation. Yeah.
Okay. So basically it's agriculture from the crops point of view.
Yeah, that is just one way on how you can practice organic agriculture.
Okay.
But also there is intercropping, just to not agriculture that you don't apply those chemicals. Yeah.
Like you mentioned, of course, many people are practicing it subconsciously. Probably they could not maybe define it as organic agriculture, but they are practicing it. And this has been for a very long time in our history. And recently, of course, fertilizers came in, and people are applying them, of course, because of the extent to which the government is requiring productivity and efficiency, and of course, new challenges like pests and diseases. Do you think organic agriculture can still be our backbone? Can it still sustain our population in itself?
Yes, I feel it can sustain our population, because organic agriculture is also done on a large scale. It's not only done on a small scale. There are companies who are certified to do organic production. So they have a lot of potential. And it still has a lot of potential because of the way it's done. It is not expensive. You don't have to buy these chemicals. You just use the natural products, the natural products that you have to do what you can. But the misconception people have is that organic agriculture is old-fashioned. It is mainly the small farmers who do it. But no, under Logamo we have seen companies, big companies, that are producing these products, that are even exporting in containers. So if they are supported, I'm sure they can sustain this sector. We don't only have to depend on something that is very costly, because you have to keep on buying the synthetics. But let's use the available means and support these companies. There are so many I could mention, but they have a big potential and they can do much more to sustain this economy. Yes.
I'll come to you, Ms. Nantume Hajara. You are a young farmer and executive director of a whole consultancy on organic agriculture. How has been your experience in as regards organic agriculture since you started, especially this consultancy? How was the experience of you actually getting engaged in organic agriculture?
Thank you very much, Anthony. My experience in the agricultural sector, specifically organic subsector, I think I've had a good experience. Personally, I've had a good reception from the farmers, and we tend to extend agriculture extension and traceability systems to the organic actors, and these are the drivers of the sector. Agriculture extension, we give it to the farmers. The farmers require quality knowledge and information regarding the sector so that they can produce what the market needs in terms of the quantities, the quality, and also be in position to sustain these markets. As you asked Marilyn about whether organic agriculture can sustain the population, I would say yes. We have a number of organic farmers that are engaged in the different value chains in Uganda, and most of them are large-scale farmers. I'm normally challenged by people who think that organic farming can only be done on a small scale. My God, I've seen 20, 30 acres of organic farmers, and these farmers are in position to even add value to the organic products and export them, as she clearly stated. Another experience I've had, we have been in position to come up with digital traceability systems that support the entire value chain of organic agriculture, right from production. We have these systems that can trace the origin of the product that a consumer wants to consume, and this gives guarantee of safety and quality to the products that our farmers produce. Thirdly is the consumers are willing to buy the organic products at a premium price. And if we are in position to establish the different markets in Uganda, our farmers will have room to produce more and more in order to satisfy the demand of the consumers. Another experience is about the knowledge and research. We have come up with a number of research and innovations in organic agriculture. I happen to be one of the people involved in consultative meetings with the Kebela app. This Kebela app is the first of its own in Uganda. And actually, I think in the world, this app can tell you whether the product is organic or not. And it is innovated by Professor Kabi from Makerere University, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. And if we can scale up this innovation, we have the product maybe in every organic market in Uganda. That will give us room to freely trade organic products and also reduce on the cost of certification of these products, since we are sure that the product is organic upon testing them. So that has been my experience in the past 5 to 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm talking about innovation and participation of, for example, people who have really gone to school and are actually practicing modern agriculture and still is organic. You as a young entrepreneur, what has been your motivation? We understand young people would not want to be associated with agriculture, especially in our generation today, where people are looking at white-collar jobs. And you people who are actually folding your sleeves and getting into the work are getting past, many of these other youths. So what was the motivation behind you actually getting to realize the opportunities in organic agriculture?
Thank you very much, Anthony. I think my motivation springs from inside and outside. Inside, it's because I'm very passionate about sustainable farming systems. I love to stay healthy. I love to stay in a healthy environment. And I'm also concerned about the health of other living things or biodiversity within the ecosystem. So that one is one driver to my motivation. The other one is I'm a professional in agriculture. So I have the relevant skills, the knowledge to extend to the farmers and even other actors. Outside, I'll talk about the problems or the challenges that farmers face, and specifically organic farmers. Most of the times when we work with these farmers, they tend to pose their challenges to us, and how I respond most is coming up with a solution to their problem. As an expert, as a professional, they look up to me to come up with a solution. So if they have a challenge, I'll make sure I come up with a perfect solution for them. For instance, I had a market challenge from our farmers in Kayungo of pineapples, where the market was highly saturated by the conventional farmers in the area. So they kept on telling me, you want us to do organic farming, but where is the market? So I responded by adding value to what they produce, and then we pack the pineapple crisps, and then we export them. Some of them are on even the local market for local consumption. So I've responded to their problem. The product can now get a different market price than when I was selling the raw pineapples. So I believe that is one of my motivation, always trying to solve farmer problems so that I can lay a brick on the organic sector in Uganda and contribute to the agriculture sector as well.
Wow, yeah. Amazing story there. And that's why I want to bring in Madam Marilyn back here on the discussion. So for young passionate farmers like Hajara herself and other young people out there who are farming, what benefits can you really point out for them to actually be motivated to do this kind of farming? Because to be honest, very many people want quick gains. People want things that work really quickly, and the other sorts of farming actually provide that line. When you apply fertilizers, you find maize growing in 2 months. You find, the soil is productive at huge speeds, right? And so, what are some of the benefits and the downside also of the other sort of farming that actually organic agriculture does address?
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. For the benefits of the young people, is one of the benefits is this one. For example, Hajara has joined NOGAMO membership. She's already in the system. So linking someone like Hajara to these platforms, so she's marketing herself, she's marketing her products, and that's a benefit already. And for other young farmers, they can be motivated by her. So for us in our new strategic plan, we are also going to focus on the youth, because organic agriculture is also good for them health-wise. They need to eat healthy as they grow. They need to learn many things, because I have seen youth who are millionaires. I have visited them. They are in organic agriculture, they are benefiting from it. So they can copy examples from Hajar, for example. You cannot rely on one thing. Me personally, I'm a farmer. Beginning at a small scale, but I know that besides the other job, I can also do farming, because farming is the way to go. You can do a lot. So once you network with the right people, once you have connections, and once you join organizations like Nogamo, we can train you as a youth, we can link you to markets, we can train you in a number of things, storage, certification, and all that, for you to do much more from the organic agriculture, because it's healthy and it's sustainable for the economy of Uganda. And we want youth to embrace this organic agriculture because it's going to be there for some time. But if they don't embrace it, then it will go with the old people. So there's a lot of benefits from it. You can get money from it. Once you start, you need to, don't rush for quick gains in farming. You have to have passion, you have to be consistent, and you have to like what you're doing and learn from others. The youth should not be just looking for jobs and only that, because there are some youth who have land up country, their parents have land, but this land is not utilized fully. But that's an opportunity. We have extension service providers across the country. These people can guide on how to do farming. You can reach out to them because government put them in place. And if we don't approach them to seek for advice, to seek for knowledge, then they will not help us. But as young people, let us look for opportunities to also venture into agriculture. Not only agriculture, but organic agriculture, which is good for your health, for your future children, and for the generations to come. So for us, we are very proud of someone like Hajara, who has got an award, who has put in a lot of time, who has products to sell. And she's an executive director at her age. So we believe that the youth have a lot of benefits from here. Once they approach organizations like NOGAM, we can support them.
Madam Marilyn, what are some of the challenges you can point out of the other, should I call it inorganic, for example, application of inorganic fertilizers? Because maybe farmers need to understand and compare and contrast what harm the other side of farming really presents that organic agriculture does provide. Because recently there were reports that some of the maize we are taking to, for example, in Kenya is infested with aflatoxins, and other reports also show that our vegetables have high levels of chemicals on them, and nowadays people have to peel their tomatoes because they are not sure what is on top, but I'm even sure if it's on top, then it can find its way inside, right? So what are some of the health risks and the problems and challenges with the inorganic side of farming?
Thank you, Anthony. The health bit, when we look at the health bit, for example, the spraying of these products, especially vegetables, of course, and others, with these chemicals, they affect the food first of all. When you eat it, you're putting those chemicals in your body, in your system. So it affects you. And as you can see, people have non-communicable diseases. There are so many people who have cancers. We are increasing production, but the hospitals are flooding with people. So we are thinking that because of what we put in our body could be the cause of these non-communicable diseases, because we don't know where it's coming from. And once we continue eating these chemicals, they are going to affect us. They are going to affect the environment. They are going to affect the soils. The soils will not be as good when we were doing it the natural way. So they are affecting us health-wise, and of course they are costly. The farmers have to buy to apply them, but the farmers need to know that what they are spraying is not good for the system. And also the other thing that can be done is for the decision makers, the people in government, the regulators, need to regulate these chemicals that are coming. There are those ones which were banned in other countries, but they're on the market, being sold in Uganda. So we need to be protected. And if they are not there, that means people will not buy them. The farmers will not buy them. And also reach out to the organic, the people who have the inputs from here, like Vampro, like there are a number, and see how can you do without synthetic chemicals. Because they are, you know, a chemical. You put a chemical in your system, it can affect your system more than you can expect. So the farmers need to know, especially for example tomatoes. They spray them, they even, on the day of marketing them, they spray them, and then someone buys them and then cooks them. Some people may not even wash. There are a few people who know that you can peel it to reduce the number of chemicals on the tomato. But I would also say that, for example, these vegetables can be planted at home, urban farming. They can be planted around the compound. When someone has a very big compound, maintaining it, but there's no vegetables. So these greens like sukuma wiki, like those tomatoes, they can be planted at home, so that you ensure that what you're eating is not contaminated because you have planted it yourself. But if you keep rushing to go to the market to buy these vegetables every time and again, people selling, they're after money, they are not after your health. So for us, we encourage people to, you do farming at a small scale. You plant something yourself. Even if you're in Kampala, you can plant in a container. Put there your sukuma wiki, you eat greens.
Is that still organic agriculture if I'm planting in a container?
At a small scale.
Okay.
Yeah. Because people think now we have a big piece of land. But sincerely, like onions, like those tomatoes, those greens, you can plant them around your home so that at least every day you have vegetables on your plate which are clean, which are healthy, and you have not bought them from the market. But sincerely, government needs to help us on this. They need to regulate these chemicals on the market so that people don't access them, and also support people who are coming up with alternatives. That is the only way to go. And also that one will reduce the number of people that are sick in the hospitals.
Yes. Thank you very much, Madam Marilyn. We're going to take another short break. And when we return, ladies and gentlemen, we want to address some of the challenges in the organic agriculture sector. There's been limited innovation, limited technological advancement in the sector. There's also been low awareness about the benefits of some of these agricultural practices in the organic agriculture sector. And of course, government has also not yet, of course, done much when it comes to sensitization and policy implementation when it comes to the same sector. My name is Anthony, and of course I'm talking to Madam Marilyn and Miss Hajara. We are taking a very short, quick break, and when we return, we get to address some of these challenges. Stay with us.